Hello. I think you're on mute.
Oh, my
Excellent.
bad. Uh, and now I'm back.
Absolutely.
How are
How
you?
are you? I'm very well, excited to be here with you this evening.
Also me as what's happening with network? Is it my network or yours?
Not sure. I can hear you fine, and
Hello?
I
One,
can see
two.
you. I can see you and I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hmm.
I'll ask our audience to give us an indication. If
Hmm.
okay, I think I'm back. Cool. Oh, I feel so underdressed. How are you?
No, you're the man of the show, so I had to make sure I show up in full excellence.
Hey, but still, hey, no excuse. I feel like I should have brought my tuxedo. you know. How are you?
No worries. I'm wonderful. I am very excited to be here with you this evening to talk about something that is not popular, but we're going to make sure it's an interesting live stream for the audience, resourceful, and they'll be able to take away some
Yeah,
great information.
definitely, definitely. Thank you also for making yourself available for us. All the way across the Atlantic, right?
Yes.
The Atlantic. I
Yes.
was not good in geography. Excuse me, guys.
I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States,
yeah.
and yes, and so I think we are about 6 hours behind SA. So
Yeah. So that's 2:07 for you PM.
yes, it is.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's midday, and it's a very, very hot summer day here, like in the high
Wow.
90s.
Yeah. So you can see I'm wearing a hoodie. So it's a bit cold. It's not really cold, but I think this weekend is going to be very I see, crazy.
Yes. Yes.
But
So you
anyway,
all are
thanks.
transitioning into your fall season.
Yeah, yeah. Fall
Mhm.
is autumn, right? Yeah. Fall is
Yeah.
autumn.
Yes, your
I
fall
looked really
season. So
confused here. Yeah. But thank you for your, as I say, for making yourself available. You and I have had a couple of conversations around this
mhm.
and other issues that we'll cover tonight. Before we carry on, like I said, let me just check here.
Okay.
Um, Thanks to our audience for joining us. I really appreciate, and I always say this before my streams, but it's not, me being silly or anything. They could be watching anything else that's hot on
Yes.
TV, on Netflix, or whatever, streaming services, but they are here with us
Yes.
and
Thank
engaging
you.
with us. So please do hit us in the comments, ask questions, like, love, just be part of the whole conversation. Without further ado, I'm going to, I do this, when I'm like, okay, what part do I cut out, and what do I leave out? Because, and eventually I decide there's nothing that I can leave out because this
Mm,
is how awesome, my guest is tonight. So I'm going to read your bio. I hope that you will bear with my pronunciations. Pronunciation.
yes.
So I'm with Ebony Ruffin tonight. Um, Ebony Ruffin's passion for financial consulting developed as she traveled the world as the daughter of an active duty military parent in the US Army. Through her experience, both domestic and abroad, she learned the value of saving, investing, and insurance protection. So that should tell you what we are going to be talking about. This is about money, it's about wealth creation. This is the real deal. We are not
Mhm.
going to be, talking about anything that's not long term in terms of creation and all that. Ebony pursued her passion for finance through her studies at Auburn University, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration in Finance and a Master of Business Administration in International Business from Mercer University. Ebony launched Ruffin Consulting Services with a mission to educate families and business owners on the value of life insurance and proactive financial planning. Ruffin Consulting Services is a business consulting firm providing life insurance solutions to families and business owners. The work of Ruffin Consulting Services has been highlighted in Forbes. Yo, guys, I'm in good company tonight. Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, NetWallet, Intuit, Insurance News, Net Magazine, the CW Atlanta, Fox Soul, please stop it. Auburn University's Harvard College of Business Studio, Think Advisor, and Black Press USAA, National News Publishers Association. Also, hold on. USAA, National Newspaper Publishers Association, okay, and more. April 2022, sorry, Ruffin Consulting Services was listed as a top industry player with the likes of KPMG, EY, Boston Consulting Group, and more as leader in evolving the competitive landscape of insurance consulting services in the market. Ruffin Consulting Services offers a suite of financial solutions for individuals and families consisting of life insurance protection, living benefits, annuities, and non qualified plans for business owners, such as key person life insurance.
Insurance.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
As we all breathe for a moment and take it all in, thank you so much.
This is awesome stuff. So I want to start with you at the beginning. Well, not the beginning, as in when you were born and you were a baby and all that, but your family background, your childhood. I think, and the reason that I normally do this in my engagements is a big part of me believes that there's a lot from that part of our lives that
Mhm.
influences, whether knowingly or not, right? The path that we eventually take, our work ethic, passion, etc. So part of this does state that your parents were, or
In the
I assume one of them was in the U.S. Army. So if you can
Yes.
take us through your background, who is Ebony, and what, in your view, led to
Mhm.
all these great achievements.
Absolutely. Thank you. So,
Yeah,
my name is Ebony Ruffin. I'm originally from Montgomery, Alabama, and I am a proud Army brat, as most of us are called when we are dependents of parents that are in the Army. And my mom was active duty military for the United States Army for 20 plus years. So,
wow,
I have to lend a lot of my upbringing to my mom's career in the military in terms of international exposure, learning in the household the value and concept of money, saving, investing, and also life insurance.
yeah,
As a young girl in Montgomery, Alabama, I remember the life insurance man at that time visiting my grandmother's home. And I didn't understand directly what I was learning, but I appreciate that experience today because I was indirectly learning what life insurance is, why it's important, and why it's important to make sure several generations in our families are insured. And then later, throughout life, I went on and I prepared for college. And I had what I thought was the perfect checklist for college. And one thing I didn't have on that checklist was life insurance. And so my mom took the time to sit down and speak with me about the importance of life insurance. And, as a younger version of myself, then I said, okay, wow, I don't know why I'm getting life insurance. I'm going off to college, not to die. But years later, I can appreciate my mom having the foresight, the knowledge, the know how to have me get life insurance while I was probably the most healthiest at a younger age. I was able to secure a large amount in life insurance coverage for a very low cost premium. And she
yeah,
essentially was setting me up for success because I still have that same policy to this very day. So although I'm much older, I still have a large face amount for the cost of insurance 20 years ago. So
yeah,
that in itself was telling in terms of how I began to respect the life insurance industry, respect the life insurance product. And then throughout my career, I went on to become a director of finance at a law firm in Reston, Virginia. And at that law firm, I learned that the partners took out key person life insurance on the other partners, or if you're familiar with the law firm terminology, the rainmakers. So the high value, high dollar attorneys, because this meant that if something happened to one of those attorneys, the law firm would experience possibly a significant financial loss because that body, that knowledge is no longer there to serve that book of business. So, what I learned is key person
mm,
life insurance is definitely an important topic for us to talk about and share because when we have businesses and we have business partners that directly contribute to our bottom line, we want to be prepared if that talent in person is no longer there. We want to continue to make sure customers can enjoy the best experience, have the best expert. And sometimes you may have to bring on temporary talent or permanent, but in order to do that, you need the funds to do that without taking away the funds from your revenue generating activities. So I said, okay,
yeah,
great learning experience for my grandmother, great learning experience for my mom on life insurance. And here I am in my profession seeing an entire new side about life insurance that's not, I feel like, widely discussed. And I said, I'm going to study for my life insurance exam. So I studied, I passed the exam, I became
Yeah.
licensed, and I built my platform on seeking to understand the gap in the market in terms of understanding life insurance and actually getting insured. And I focused in that area of education, seeking to understand and sharing resources. And with that focus, it's totally set me up for success to be your queen of life insurance.
Wow. Damn, that's a mouthful. I like the Queen of Life Insurance bit. I feel like if it's not trademarked as yet, you should trademark. You
Yes,
know.
it is. It's protected. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So I don't want to take it for granted and think that the people that are listening to us know what life insurance is.
hmm
Maybe we should start with a basic definition of what that is, and then we'll move to the you touched on what do you call it? Key
Key
person.
person. Life
Yes.
insurance, yes.
Life
So,
insurance.
life
Yeah.
insurance is a contract between an insurance company and the owner of a life insurance policy. And what this essentially means is the owner of a life insurance policy agrees to pay a premium. The premium can be monthly, quarterly, um, semi annual, or annually to in exchange for the life insurance company stating, I will provide a payout to the beneficiary in the event
Mm.
the insured passes away. So, most of us are familiar with group term life insurance, which is more of a fringe benefit offered through our employer. So, you get a
Well,
job,
yeah,
you're excited about your health insurance, you're excited about your salary.
yeah.
And when you see the life insurance piece, you're just like, oh, okay, but that's actually a great benefit to keep your eye on, is because typically it's at no cost to you as the employee. And it's typically about 2 to 3 times your salary, depending on the company. So,
Yes,
life
yes.
insurance, while it may sound morbid and complex, it is very simple.
Hmm. The kind of stuff that should be spoken about around the family dinner table and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
may have to support the person that decides to bring that topic to their dinner table, because everyone could be looking to their left and right saying, are you plotting something? So I want us
Mm,
to kind of shift that mindset away from a
mm.
family member trying to kill you off for a life insurance policy, and transition that mindset to
Yeah.
proactive planning, proper dialogue in the household. It's we're all so comfortable talking about paying bills in our household, but let's
Mm,
push the envelope on that conversation and focus on how can we talk about financial planning products to at least secure 3 generations in our family. An example of that would be, if I look at myself, I would want to make sure my parents are insured. That's 1 generation.
yeah.
I would want to make sure that I am insured. That's a second generation. And then the generation to follow after me, whether that's children or younger family members, because that's
Yeah.
how generational wealth actually works. And so, what we don't want
So,
to encounter is we're working hard, we're building our businesses, we have successful careers, and our
yeah.
parents pass away and we're not properly prepared. So then we experience a financial hardship that could set us back so far based on where we've come for financial stability. So life insurance, it's simple. It's a contract between the insurance company and the owner of a life insurance policy, with an
Mm,
agreement to pay premiums in exchange for the beneficiary of that policy receiving a payout when the insured passes away. And I know we
yeah.
have a lot of terms that are used here, but maybe through the live or after, we'll share a link that defines some of the most important life insurance terms.
Awesome. That's really awesome. So you've touched on a very key Tam, sorry, there's something happening on my laptop here. Let me just move this pop-up screen here. Um, and then there's a comment to that point. Um, how life insurance can be used to build generational wealth. It's a conversation that I've picked up elsewhere. I think on some YouTube
Mhm.
podcasts, but also there's someone who has commented here, so their name will appear as Facebook user. Reason
Mhm.
being, they didn't sign up through the StreamYard link, to join us. So, how do we use life insurance to create or build generational wealth?
We use life insurance to create, build, and sustain generational wealth. An example would be when our grandparents are properly insured and insured above the value of burying our grandparents. So we want to make sure we're looking at high dollar value of policies that covers more than just the expenses of the funeral. But then there's funds left over that can either go into a trust or be passed on to the beneficiaries. As a recipient
Mm,
of a life insurance payout, you now have liquidity that you didn't have in your life before. And with that liquidity, you can invest, buy real
mm,
estate, buy land, pay for higher education. So the concept and goal with life insurance is not for you to have to work so hard to pay for all of these things, but for
yeah,
us to continue to set ourselves and the next generation up so that there's not this hyper overactive labor mindset, but the mindset of passing something on so the next generation in our family is further
yeah,
ahead than when we started. And imagine, getting ready to go off to college and your parents are having a conversation or have had a conversation with your grandparents for properly planning, and you
mm,
not knowing that your grandparents had named your parents as a beneficiary to use the funds for your higher education. So now you're
yeah,
able to start off and go to school without having to secure a student loan and take on debt that you're then having to work hard and pay after graduation. So
yeah,
perhaps while you're in college or after your graduation, your parents decide to secure a property for you. That's
yeah,
either you don't have to take out a mortgage for the full amount, or you're able to fully pay for your own real estate, your own property. So
yeah,
my goal is to be a proponent and advocate for positive dialogue around life insurance, and for us to dispel the myths and uncomfortable feelings that when our friends and family are talking about life insurance, it's because they have some evil plan. It's not about that. It's about proactively planning, properly planning,
yeah,
and I understand the conversations are difficult, but hopefully with this conversation, someone's able to take away a piece and find a way to bring the topic up to their family.
yeah. I like that. I like that. So what I'm picking up also is it's also a mindset shift thing, right? Because for me as a parent, taking life insurance and having my kids, either my kids directly, as in named as beneficiaries, or through a trust that would
Trust, yes.
manage, right,
Hmm,
that
hmm.
benefit on their behalf.
Yes.
But the mindset is I need to kick the bucket in order for them to enjoy the benefit.
Yes.
And I
And
think that's where the difficulty lies. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
one thing we know for sure, if we don't know anything else, we know two things. We will be born, and some of us
Yeah.
will live,
Yeah.
and we will also transition to afterlife. And
Exactly.
when we understand the concept of our time here on this earth is, while it seems like a long time, can be fairly short.
Yeah.
And there's so many conversations about wealth and generational wealth, or being rich or being wealthy. But it's hard for me to understand how this conversation is so popular and people are so comfortable, yet so scared to embrace the topic of life insurance. because
Mm.
how does this happen without some type of life insurance? It's not, and we need to consider everyday households, because in everyday households there isn't someone that's, possibly building a book of business or becoming a millionaire or billionaire
Yeah,
overnight. We want to consider, like, for our everyday working class people, what can we do to set up the next generation in our family so that they don't
yeah,
have to go through the same kind of race or the same
yeah,
journey to
yeah.
attain something maybe better than what they grew up with.
Hmm. Wow.
And life
And
insurance is a form of love.
wow.
Life insurance is a form of a selfless act. Life insurance is a form of believing in the lives that are here after you. Life insurance is representation of understanding what building and sustaining wealth looks like.
Yeah,
What is there to sustain without liquidity to be able to do that? And oftentimes, as long as a death certificate is provided, the life insurance company is paying out the death benefit to the beneficiaries. So they're
yeah,
immediately put in a different position to make financial decisions that are best for short term and long term growth for the family.
yeah, yeah. Tell me something. When it comes to this, is there ever a concept called being over-insured? Um, can I take life insurance policies everywhere? Like,
Yeah.
different,
So
yeah,
there is the concept of being overinsured, and
yeah,
what you will find out is through the life insurance process, the application process, the insurance company is asking about other life insurance policies that you may have. So they're also gauging how much insurance that you have with other carriers. And then through the
yeah.
underwriting process, there's also the term insurable interest. So with
Oh,
that, it's considering, if there's an insurable interest, meaning that there will be a financial loss experience if the insured passes away, and also does the insured have multiple carriers? If so, what are the face amounts? And so there's I would say, a full assessment through the underwriting process. Being
okay.
overinsured also means that you are paying more money out of your pocket, more money out of your household on insurance that may not necessarily be needed, and you could take that money and possibly invest and grow a portfolio that way. So when looking at the adequate or right amount for insurance, I like to focus on the dime approach, which is an acronym for how much debt should be satisfied, how many years of income am I trying to replace for anyone that relied on my income? Is
Okay.
there mortgage balances that require to be paid? That's the M. And then E, last for education. Is there anyone that would be relying on me financially for education? So I like to take that dime approach, and then
Yeah.
also look at any other insurance policies and the face amounts that potential clients have. And then counsel or consult and provide the best advice based on a full analysis.
Wow. Okay, so the dime approach is D is for debt, I
Hmm.
is for what? Investment,
Income. How many years
income.
of income replacement? Hmm.
M is for what did you say? Mortgage bond.
Mortgage. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
E for education.
Excellent. Yes.
Powerful. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I think so. So that's easy in terms of helping one to make a well informed view
Hmm.
in terms of where to go and all that. I like that because it's a very I don't know how to frame it, but educational approach or
Yes.
educated. Yeah. And it also helps to protect one from those some people I think in this space are all about sales. I just want to
Hmm.
sign and sell as many policies because I'm getting a commission and whatever,
Hmm.
and not necessarily paying attention to needs, of my clients. That's really powerful. I'm
Yes.
share your links. I think as we move to the KPI, key person insurance.
Yes.
Want to share your links so that this is where you've got your some of your
Hmm.
resources and
Yes.
all that. So maybe take us through the key person insurance and what that means in the business space. Who must take it, when, and why? I do have an idea based on how you framed it, but
Yes.
you are best placed to teach us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So key person insurance, key person life insurance, you may also hear the terminology key man insurance or key man life
Yeah.
insurance.
No, I know it. Yeah.
So essentially, what we have with this type of insurance is when you have a business and you have a business partner, maybe someone on the executive leadership team, someone that is contributing to the bottom line of your business, meaning that if this person
Yeah.
passed away tomorrow, there is a huge gap in your business to fill, or huge shoes in your business to fill in order to sustain your business, to consider offering, to continue offering the same services or products, to continue to offer the same customer service. And so you see this a lot of times when there's a business and maybe two partners, or when there's typically a law firm environment and you have
Yeah.
attorneys with a certain subject matter expertise along with many years of experience. You want to ensure that, if your firm is known for having the best medical malpractice attorney, and perhaps that attorney is now in his 70s or 80s, when he or she passes away, that when the company is paying the insurance premium and is the owner of the policy, the company can also is the named beneficiary as well. So the company then
Yes.
will receive that death benefit when the insured passes away. And ideally, it's used to replace that talent that's now lost in the company and continue to provide services and or products to your customers without there being a huge gap or breakdown in your business workflow. And
So it's
the
key
process is
for.
typically.
Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say the process isn't much more difficult than the normal life insurance process. Insurance companies may require an additional form to be completed, which is partners, the owner of the insurance policy, the company, and the insureds are acknowledging and agreeing to the key person life insurance. So it's not that a partner can go and secure this type of product without the other partner knowing. So there is transparency, due diligence, and forms that must be signed.
Oh, that's cool. Please excuse me. I forgot to add a disclaimer when we started. That at any moment I might be interrupted by one of the kids. So, so,
Yes.
so I just had someone screaming from the bedroom. I think they're having a bad dream. Please give me just a minute or two, ne?
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no worries.
I just
No, no
closed my.
apologies.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
And while we're paused for a moment, just want to say thank you to all of you that are here with us this evening. Thank you for your time. There will be more links and information shared to help guide you through the life insurance process, and also being able to understand the terminology of the industry, what to expect on the application, what to expect from your life insurance agent. So definitely some great resources that will be shared. And thank you all for your time this evening.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome
Thank
back. That's the beauty. And, you know, this is what it means to be able to relate to people on a human level. And it's not about
yeah,
the perfect presentation, but it's that, while we all come forward with our knowledge and expertise, we're all regular, everyday people, where
yeah,
we have our family responsibility, we have our business responsibility, and it's important that we see moments like this, because there
yeah.
could be someone that has been watching your platform and they're saying, wow, how does he do it all? How did he grow his business? And
Mm,
it's good for people to see the human behind it as well. That while doing this, you're also a full time father and you're very active in your children's lives, and you're running Brown Sense, and you're doing this because you have a sense of community and commitment to the community. So you're not doing it just because you have all the free time in the world and you want attention. You're doing it because it comes from a special place while
yeah,
still being a leader of your household. So I think, at least I can see this as a beautiful moment, and I hope the viewers can as well.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gonna be- we have a comment here from your friend here from Cape Town, Shani. Shani.
Yes. Hi.
Cool. Thank you. So, and so I think we're talking about the key men. Am I freezing? The K, what I called the KPI, but you said it's the key men life.
Yes.
I messed up
Key
this
person life
acronym.
insurance.
Key men life insurance. Key
Yes.
person life insurance. So I get that. So that talks to business continuity, right? So
Yes.
there's that one or maybe two, maybe more key individuals in a business that if something,
Hmm.
God forbid, would happen to them, it's the end of the game, as far as that
Hmm.
business is concerned. And this is the one product, sorry,
Yes.
that would cover and secure the business. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's
All right.
part of
So,
succession planning for a business. So when business
yeah,
owners get together and they're looking at, the future of their business, the key person life insurance can be part of the outline for the succession plan for the
yeah,
business. So that's where some business owners may engage in that type of conversation.
yeah. So from your experience, what would you say that it's something that should be in place from day one of a business, that is, or from when it's clear, that the business has potential, who are the key individuals or individuals in the business, and only at that point it needs to become a conversation.
So there can be two kind of mindsets when it comes to this. If it's
Mm,
two partners and it's clear that both partners are contributing substantially to the bottom line, bringing in revenue, that may be more of an upfront conversation.
yeah,
If it's perhaps a large firm, you may
yeah,
not know the true value of that person to consider that person a key person until you can see their action and those actions leading to a revenue amount or
mm,
in the law world, it's called like your billable book, your book of
yeah,
business.
yeah,
So I believe the approach could be based on the circumstances of that business.
yeah,
But I'm a proponent of proactively communicating. So
yeah,
when sourcing talent to bring on talent to a business, you already kind of have an indication of how important that talent is. You just don't know
yeah,
until they actually start working, but maybe having it as a topic of conversation in the beginning with
yeah,
actionable steps to measure to determine if a key person life insurance policy should be taken out on a key person in a business.
cool. Okay, all right. Okay, that's cool. Thanks. Um, so I think out of interest now, because and maybe some of our listeners and audience are asking themselves,
Hmm.
um, you are US based, right? So you are in the insurance business,
Yes.
but based in the US. As someone that's based, I'll use South Africa because that's where I am. But
Mm-hmm.
let's also include the whole continent. And take take the
Yes.
whole continent. In what scenarios would I potentially come to you
Mm-hmm.
to seek your services or maybe qualify for your services?
Mm-hmm.
And by your services, I mean, you touched on the insurable interests
Yes.
um, bit earlier. What excuse me, in what scenarios would that come into play?
Mm-hmm.
Being someone that is not in the US, but also not a US. Am I freezing?
Yes. No. So excellent question. Because
Yeah.
as we have viewers on the live stream, and maybe the majority of viewers are based in SA, the question could be, okay, because part of this is trust in who you feel comfortable working with. And so maybe someone's thinking, okay, I'm interested in working with her. I like how she explains life insurance. She's on the
Yeah.
BrownSense platform. So that takes down a little bit of the um, being unsure about the process. So, for working with me, I am licensed and appointed with National Life Group, and there is a foreign national policy that we must abide by. So, if there is someone that is living outside of the US for more than 4 months, then they
Yeah.
must meet our foreign nationals requirements, which means you have to show a relation or nexus to the United States. And
Mhm.
I kind of figured this would be a question, so I wanted to make sure I have the
Yeah.
most accurate information. So, when we say a connection or nexus to the United States, there are one or more proofs of this that will have to be provided. So, I'll just share this
Mhm.
with you all. You have to own real property in the US, own a business in the US, be married to a US citizen who resides in the US, student in US or on a F visa, or have significant documented assets in the US. So a minimum of 500K, which is 500,000. If you can meet one or two of those, depending on what the underwriters may require, then we get to, okay, what's the next step? So the max amount, say for example, South Africa, that I can insure for is 15 million. If you're a student, then that would be, if you're a student meeting the nexus requirements, which means the connection to the US, then the max face amount is 2 million, and the product is only permanent life insurance, so not term. So that's if
Mm.
you're specifically interested in working with me, you reside outside of the United States for more than 4 months, then you're considered a foreign national, and then there are foreign national guidelines that must be met. If you do not meet any of those guidelines, and you're definitely encouraged from today's live stream to seek life insurance for you, your spouse, then of course there are the big five life insurance companies located on the actual continent, and then a few smaller insurance companies as well. I always recommend we research everything else on the internet. So when it comes to life insurance, don't just, you don't always have to go for the most popular name or insurance company, but definitely do your due diligence and research. I mean, even with me being US based, I was able to pull up a few statistics about life insurance in SA, some of the top companies, their customer service ratings, their response time. So the information is out there. You just have to take the first step to getting insured.
Yeah. That's really great. So so just to take you back to the FNP, that's foreign national. You said what? P for policy, no?
Just foreign national. So as there's a
Oh,
foreign national guideline that
yeah.
guidelines that must be met
Mm.
um, in order for me to be able to provide life insurance coverage to someone or an individual that resides outside of the United States for more than 4 months.
So, so if let's say one of my kids goes to the US to study, obviously that would be longer than 4 months. Does that hit
Mhm.
one or two of the FNG criteria?
So at that time, your child would be considered a student and would have to be on an F visa. And as a student, the max amount of life insurance is 2 million compared to non-students, the max amount is 15 million.
Okay. All right. So if BrownSense opens a US branch business and
Mhm.
registers, then it qualifies.
Mhm. Yes, because then you will be able to show a connection or nexus to the United States by owning a
Yeah.
business in the US. Mhm.
Okay, that's cool. I love this. Okay, cool, cool. Okay.
I
Yeah,
wanted to make sure before
yeah,
when we agreed to have this amazing conversation. I said, we were discussing some of the thoughts of the viewers, and I wanted to be totally prepared. So I said,
yeah,
when in doubt, go to the underwriting guide. So I pulled the underwriting guide and looked at the underwriting requirements
yeah,
for foreign nationals so that we'll be able to have a conversation
yeah,
that's meaningful to the audience so that they know how they may proceed.
yeah, yeah. No, that's really awesome. My laptop is acting up tonight, so I couldn't pull up those links. I think what I want to do is to type your email address, followed
Yes.
by your website. So what your email address?
Mhm.
It's just remind
E.
me,
Ruffin,
roughly. Ruffin,
E.
yes.
Ruffin, at ruffinconsultingservices.com. So the full business name spelled out.
Ruffin Consulting Services.com. This is where
Yes.
people can reach you.
Yes.
Ruffin Consulting Services.com. Cool.
Yes.
There
Excellent.
you
Thank
go.
you.
Can you see that? Okay, it's on the screen.
hmm
Um,
Oh, I think, no, you're not on mute. I can't hear you.
do anything.
Oh, perfect.
Am I-
I can hear
No, I
you
was
perfect
saying,
now.
so your website then would be, let me type it out.
Okay.
www.
Ruffinconsultingservices.com.
Excuse me. Cool. Excuse me. So on your website, you also have a lot of educational stuff um, that people can, at no cost to them, take advantage of
Yes.
um, and stuff. Awesome.
Yeah. There's
Cool.
a link to a free life insurance course on the website. And
Yeah.
what I love about this course is it's on the Teachable platform. There are touch points throughout the course to test your knowledge as you're learning about life insurance. I also love that it's totally free. So the goal here is to educate and inform. So if you visit ruffinconsultingservices.com and you select the shop link and then
That's
do view courses, you will see the course there that you can download at no cost to you. And feel free to share the link with your friends and family. I think the link could be a conduit to having a conversation, but by starting
definitely.
with a resource that someone can then go through the information in their own timing and pace.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously anyone that wants to follow you on social media, they can search for Ruffin Consulting Services also, right?
Absolutely, yes. Ruffin
Yeah.
Consulting Services on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Consistency. Cool.
Yes. I'm a product of my environment of the
Yeah.
army, and so I'm very much so
Yeah. Yeah.
organized, consistent, and all of those great things.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really enjoyed this. I think we need to do a phase or part two, possibly in about a
Yes.
month.
Yes.
But whenever you come back to SA,
hmm
or maybe I will come through to your neck of the woods.
Yes.
Then hopefully we can do like a live, face to face. I have this dream of having a mukbang. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation. Like how Noriega does his. We talked about Nori,
Yes.
remember? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of a table
Yeah.
discussion
Just have
in person.
food.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that type of layout and platform is pretty awesome for
Yeah.
those that get to experience it because there when you're in person, there are things about a person's character,
Yeah.
personality that you're able to build the conversation on while the
Yeah.
audience is still learning something. And I know that's definitely what we attempted to do today. We didn't want this to feel more like a Q&A, but
Yeah.
dialogue where, at this time in the evening in SA, people are probably winding down with their family. And so we don't want
Yeah.
to bore them with the conversation, but we want them to be able to say, that's interesting. She mentioned the dime approach. Let me write this down. Or,
Yes. I
oh, a
like
free
this
life
approach.
insurance course. Let me make a note of this. So,
Yeah.
and this is all on the topic of life insurance, but I can one thing I can promise to the listeners and the viewers, whether they're here today or they watch it later, is we need life insurance and we need to understand that we need life insurance. A lot of times we talk about our most valuable asset being time and freedom of time and able to do anything from anywhere. We talk about self care and self love and all of these wonderful things, but none of them could exist without your actual life. Like without your life, there's nothing to make time for. Without your life, there's no self love. So, truly, our biggest and most greatest asset is our life. And so, if we can insure our vehicles, our homes, our jewelry, our pets, let's make sure that we're
Yeah.
insuring our life.
No, definitely. And also to make the conversation easier to navigate around,
Hmm.
parents talking to their kids about these things, spouses talking to, people talking to their people or their partners, their better halves, whatever,
Hmm.
and removing that whole stigma.
Yes.
You'll recall that the first time we spoke about this, I mentioned that ironically, there was a case around this issue where, someone was charged with using this very same product, uh,
Hmm.
targeting her victims in order for her to profit from. So you kind of
Hmm.
can't blame people because of that, but also at the same time, um, you know, it's something that needs to be spoken about. It's also something that people need to, I think, from a wealth creation perspective,
Hmm.
uh, I suppose have the emotional intelligence in terms of this is something that we need to put on the table. I suppose it also goes back to hey, this is a controversial subject which I don't want us to segue into, but I will just mention it.
Okay.
It also goes into, it's a tough one because how do you do it, right? Into uh, choosing one's partner wisely. And I don't know
Hmm.
how that happens, right? Like, you
Yes.
know, in most cases, you don't know until you are there and things are happening
Yes.
or whatever. But I feel like there's so much apprehension around this subject where
Hmm.
one person is like, I've got all these policies, but I don't want my partner to know that I've got all these
Hmm.
policies because they are going to take me out or get someone to take.
Hmm.
You understand? But
Yes.
anyway, I think just as a parting shot from my side, I'm glad that we've had this, and maybe the more we have these types of conversations, you
Hmm.
know, we need to be much more intentional with how we live our lives and the legacy that we leave behind.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like the way that you summed it up in terms of the legacy that we leave behind.
yeah,
The in your transition, kind of in the topic, the first thing you touched on was actually insurance fraud, and fraud
mhm,
can
mhm,
occur in any industry. And so we shouldn't allow ourselves to be deterred or scared off of building wealth and sustaining wealth within our families and our businesses because of someone's unethical, illegal actions. But what
yeah,
we can do is understand that it does taint one's mindset if you're the person bringing this subject to someone else and they are aware of these type of things happening. And so what we want to do is enlist the advice and direction of a agent or broker to possibly help navigate that conversation with a
yeah,
loved one. And also this is about trust and also financial planning mindset, which
yeah,
you touched on when, making sure that the right partner is selected. And that's when you're entering into a business relationship or a personal relationship, there should be some type of vetting process, maybe some questions you're asking to understand a person's
mm,
financial acumen, their business acumen. how do
yeah,
how do they look at, life insurance planning? How do they look at
yeah,
savings or investing? What's their thought process on education? Are they proponent of student loans or preparing for education in other ways? So this is all part of like healthy dialogue,
yeah,
and it may seem intimidating because we're also leading with the mindset of rejection instead of acceptance. And so
yeah,
maybe if we start leading with the mindset of, I know I have good intentions by bringing this topic to my family. I know that I am, concerned and I want to take on a role and responsibility of generational wealth in my family. And it's not going to happen overnight. So you have to be committed to the purpose and continue the dialogue, continue with sharing information, even if it's, I'm going to take the link from this course and send it to my family's email list. Hey, everyone, I just attended a
yeah,
live stream. There are some things that were discussed about life insurance that I wasn't considering. Take a look at this course. It's free.
yeah,
You can do it in your own time. And so you want to bring the conversation is in a way where you're not instructing, but you are showing care, concern. And if you're making these type of decisions for yourself and your family and household, more than likely you want to share with other people in your family so that they can do the same for their households as well.
yeah, yeah. I like that approach. It's yeah. I think that's a working approach for someone that's a bit hesitant to go direct.
Hmm.
But they hope they have access to all these resources. You can use this interview. You can use the resources. This yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that brings us to the end. of
Aw. All
Yeah,
good things must come to a pause.
I, I like that. Trademark it, otherwise I will.
All
I
good things must come to a pause.
like that. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. We'll engage some more, and
Yes,
then I think plan more engagements, ideas, and all everything that's exciting and stuff. Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you
Yeah.
so much to the Brown Sense community, the Brownies. Thank you so much for birthing a platform that allows us to collaborate. Thank you for having me on your platform. It's a big deal. And last but most importantly is a very special thank you to Mrs. Ty Daly for
Oh,
this
yeah.
connection here. She has a
Yeah.
heart of gold, and I'm thankful for the introduction and just another space to be able to share the importance of life insurance as more of a wealth benefit and not just a
Yeah.
death benefit.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Ruffin, and thank you, Mrs. Daly. Have a good day. We'll catch up. Thanks for joining me. Eh?
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, Bazalwane, thank you for joining us talking about these difficult grown up topics on a Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's after 9. I think I did say this after my first Tuesday evening engagement. Uguti, I'll be adding the stream. This is my second one, I think. Yeah, it is. Um, So I think I'll be growing on this, but I really did enjoy it. I hope you did too and you found it helpful. Until next time, adios, peace, bye.